Let's talk about concealed carry and our constitutional right to keep and bear arms. Historically and logically, folks understand they can put a gun in their gun safe at the house or their gun cabinet in days gone by. You can't really do that anymore because these idiots are busting the glass out and taking your hunting rifles. That's irritating. But beyond that now, with the violence and garbage going on in society, all the more, especially the weaker amongst us, the ladies, etc., are needing a way to defend themselves from perpetrators and criminals and all the rest. And so we have, thankfully in Fremont County, an advocate in the Sheriff's Office of the Second Amendment. We thank God for Sheriff Biker and his help in causing the citizens to be defended. So I want to talk just a bit about that, that the police really can't stop crimes from happening. They're a deterrent, but they're not going to stop it from happening. And so if you're out somewhere around, the odds of an officer being nearby to stop something from happening to you, or even to be a strong deterrent, are 1 in a million probably, or worse. So a lot of times you have to have a little piece like something like this on hand, which in this case is just a .22 caliber 7-round mag firearm that you pull that magazine out of there and it's empty. You can't see it, but it's empty. But something like this that even a child could use to defend themselves against a 200+ pound perpetrator. Pretty nice thing. We've got a lot of limits on this kind of thing. People are nervous about this. You probably wouldn't be real nervous if you had a 200+ pound perpetrator trying to harm you, though, if you had access to something like this, or certainly something a little more potent than what this is. But I thank God that the Second Amendment provided me the right to keep a hunting rifle in my gun safe, and it also provided me the right to keep some kind of weapon on my body, where I'll probably need it, actually, instead of at home in a safe. And so a concealed carry permit, technically, that's a state's deal. Federally, and here I am interpreting the Second Amendment for the Supreme Court people, but I think some of them need some help, but we'll just try to make it as simple as possible. There's no law that should supersede the Constitution of the United States and the Second Amendment thereof that would keep an individual from bearing an arm like this, or something more extreme, to protect themselves from harm, from a perpetrator, from a criminal that want to do them bodily harm. And so I believe that the Second Amendment not only provided for you to have weapons of warfare for a militia, weapons for hunting big game like your .30-06, but I also believe that the Second Amendment provided that you should be able to keep and carry on your person concealable weapons, or not concealable if you prefer. I guess you could hang this one out on your hip if you had a holster this small. I'm going to put that in my pocket, isn't that nice? But the main thing I'm driving at on this little discussion today is simply this. The Second Amendment is our guarantee of safety. Our guarantee for our daughters and our wives and our grandkids of safety, or at least a reasonable defense. Now, if a perpetrator comes at you, maybe he's going to do a carjacking, he may have a fully automatic. Oh, they're not legal. Tell that to the people who have fully automatic weapons. I don't think they're that concerned with legality, if you want to know the honest truth. I know they're not. If they're going to steal your car, they're not that worried about carrying an illegal firearm. No kidding. So they may have a fully automatic 9mm Uzi, and they're going to stick that in your face and say, get out of your car, we're stealing it. So a little .22 pocket pistol isn't a great defense against that. So technically you should have a fully automatic firearm of your own if you want to carry this to a level where it'll do you any good. I don't do that, so I'm at risk of a criminal that would have a superior weapon to my own, as are probably most all of you. So with that said, what little bit, little like little here, that we might seek to walk within the Constitution, we're still coming up dramatically short, because typically criminals are not playing fair. They're bullies. They want to have a bigger gun. Kind of like the president said, if some of these folks bring knives to fights, well, he wants to bring guns. So typically bullies do want to have an unfair and imbalanced kind of scale that they go on. So the least I could say, and this is for my family and hopefully for yours, the least we should have is some form of Second Amendment firearm equipment that would protect us from perpetrators. And I believe that's the way every county, every city, every state in the United States should be. That's the way it was intended by our founding fathers. And a man's only as free, keep this in mind, as free to live and pursue his happiness as is his ability to protect his life. If you can't protect your life, what good, is anything that you might own or anything you may want to do? So first, you must secure your security to some extent. It means you arm yourself. Arm yourself with the Second Amendment.